I've had several friends, a couple really, that have had near-death experiences, and then I've watched some of the stuff that I've seen and read from other people who've experienced them. And one thing comes clear: whether you are a Christian, a Buddhist, a Muslim, an atheist, or any other branch of faith or non-faith, you're going to meet Jesus Christ when you die. Whether you're ready for that or not, it's who you're going to meet. And you got to understand, he's all truth, he's all righteousness, he's all love, he's all compassion, and he's all of these things wrapped up into one thing. He's God incarnate, okay? And when people meet him, they're go back through and they get to see their whole life in a very short time frame, and they get to experience every good thing they've ever done and the ripples that it puts out to go out and help other people, and all the bad things they do and the ripples that it puts out and how it affects other people. We in our life are literally like a wave generator, and we have a choice whether we're going to do good things and ask God to help us to do good things, or whether we're going to do bad things and turn our back on God. If we turn our back on God, we wind up in hell because we have not chosen to embrace life and love as God would have us do. And it's up to us to humble ourselves, to seek repentance before God for the things that we get wrong, and ask for his help. The life is meant to be a spiritual struggle. We have this stuff called flesh, which the angels don't have. And so the flesh has inputs to the soul, and the soul has inputs to the flesh. You know, we can have our physical needs that we think we want, or our physical fleshly desires, and it doesn't matter what your orientation is or anything else. You're going to deal with passions of the flesh. The passions of the flesh don't determine who you are. This upcoming Sunday, we have St. Mary of Egypt as the one whose feast we're going to celebrate. Mary started out as a kid from Alexandria in Egypt. When she was 12 years old, she decided that if she looked at a man and she wanted to do something with him, she was going to do it. And she lived this way up until the time she was 29, and she heard that there was going to be a party in Jerusalem for the exaltation of the cross. And this girl's thinking, I'm all down for a party. So she manages to get on a boat, and she does more stuff to the poor sailors that are on this boat than she's ever done to anybody else up to this point in her life. When she gets to the church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, she can't enter the church. She's watching everybody else go by and enter the church, and she can't get in the church. She is barred by hand. She cannot see from entering. She tries 2 times to enter the church, and it scares the crap out of her because she's like, everybody else is just going in this place. I can't get in here. And she turns and she sees the icon of the Mother of God outside the church and says, if you will let me enter, I'll do what you want me to do. And so she's able to go in, venerate the cross. She gets some food, and then she winds up going to the east side of the Jordan River and living in the desert. For the first 17 years she's in the desert, she takes and is going through all the temptations that she did to all these men for those 17 years. She's feeling the consequences of this sin. Okay? And then for the next 30 years, she's in peace. She's left alone in the desert. God doesn't want to let her life go unexposed. So there's this other saint named Saint Zosimus, who was a venerable monk, and he was trying to learn what he was missing spiritually to be edified and to grow in grace. And so, as it was, the monastery that it was in, it was their custom every year for what's called the Great Fast to go out into the desert and then to go wander, and hopefully you're going to run into another hermit who's more experienced than you are as a desert dweller, that may be more spiritually enlightened than you are. And so he's out there wandering, and he comes and he sees this person, and this person is just working to run away from him. He's finally catching up to him. And St. Mary calls out, says, Abba Zosimus, stop, for I am a woman and I have no clothes on. She's been running around in the desert for 47 years, and the last stitch of clothes she had on is what she left Jerusalem with. So he gives her his outer garment, and then she proceeds to tell him his life. She's not proud of the life she lived, but Zosimus can realize that St. Mary has more grace than he does. So these two get into a groveling contest. He recognizes she is more advanced in the spiritual life than he is, and she knows that he's a priest, and she's got him on this. So one of the things to understand is, in Orthodoxy, we may have a patriarchy, but patriarchy is not the objective of our life. It is acquiring grace, and you can only do that through humility and repentance, with genuine repentance and asking for God's help. So St. Mary's got St. Zosimus on this because she knows he's a priest and he has to bless her first. And then after he blesses her, then she prays for both of them. A year later, they meet again. He gets Holy Communion to her. And then the next year, she's reposed and he goes back to where he first met her. And he gets the help of a lion. And he kept his promise to her that he wouldn't reveal her name or what she had done until after she reposed. And so St. Mary of Egypt, while she'd lived a horrible life from the age of 12 to 29, became the model of repentance for the Orthodox Church because of what she did afterwards. Genuine, sincere repentance. And that's all we can really hope for and what we want to get out of stuff in terms of, can we be honest with God about what we've done and ask for his forgiveness